and welcome to the Slip Slip Sis podcast. I'm Che.
I'm Gabz.
And this is episode, I forgot to ask Gabz before we started this.
24? I just looked.
24.
I think so.
24. Well, I guess I'll find out a little bit later.
The mystery to all of us.
Episode something in their 20s.
I'm pretty sure it's 24 because I looked to see what I had finished between them. Like between what was the last thing I was working on? So I think it's 23 that we had already filmed.
Okay. 98% confidence. This is episode 24.
Which is pretty high for me.
That's pretty good. So you can find us on Instagram and Ravelry. And now that I have remembered to put our email below, you can also contact us via email. This is our YouTube channel where we share all about our crafting and kind of just some of the things that we're doing that somehow connect to crafting as well. And I'm coming to you from Southern California. Gabz is coming from Northern California, and it is Sunday, June 11th. And I'm happy to present that this is going to be the Gabz show for finished objects, because I have like a semi-finished object, but it's a little sad. So I'm gonna just insert myself in the middle at some point so it doesn't seem as like depressing for me. Take it away, Gabz.
I have a question. You can see my flickering fan. Should I turn it off?
Yes.
Okay.
And Gabz is gonna quick turn here. How about I share mine first, then we kind of get it out the way. Except now I can't find it because I think I put it behind my computer. So if you've been watching with us for a bit, I have been on a can cozy kick, and I am using the classic can cozy pattern from Nitty Natty. And I was just like making another one because I'm making can cozies for all of my colleagues as gifts for Christmas. And the yarn that I selected is super cute because this one's actually kind of like Christmas themed. However, it's a more plump fingering, and both of them were a more plump fingering, I think, than the other ones I've been using. So it ended up much too large to be a can cozy. So this is like the can cozies I've been making. This is the width of the one that I ended up making, and it's the exact same stitch count. What are you doing over there?
I can't make it stop.
Oh my God. All right.
I mean, it's off now because I turned the light off.
Okay. So it ended up way too thick. So I was like knitting, and I didn't really notice the thickness until I had gotten to like this middle section. I'm like, I'm not ripping that crap out. So I just decided to make it a little bit shorter, and it's just gonna masquerade as a yarn cozy instead of a can cozy, because I think it'll almost fit like I think it'll fit the 100-gram skein. Look at that. Close enough, huh?
Yeah, it'll be good for like the miscellaneous partial skeins we always have, or I always have.
I think it'll be fine. Like, it's not exactly fit to it because I didn't have a regular yarn cozy pattern on my person. I didn't really feel like working that hard to make adjustments, so I just made it shorter. So that's my finished object. That's it.
Oh my gosh. So I have 1, 2, 3, I have 5 finished objects, but they aren't all that intense. So I finished, because we last podcast on the 28th. So I finished my May sock swap socks. Ooh, this is good lighting and very hard to see. But if you really want to see the detailed high res images, you got to check out our Instagram or Ravelry page, which I've actually updated. What? So these are my May sock swaps. There is a texture, but I'm aware that you can't see it. But if I turn it on, there's my flickering majiggy fan. So let's see if it'll zoom. It doesn't want to do it, not so much. But there is a little butterfly chilling there. These are the Butterfly Kisses socks by Kay, the crazy sock lady. And I finished these like the hour after the podcast or something like that. So I finished them within May, which was the goal for me and Shaylee's year-long sock swap. So I have yet to fall behind, which is very good. Yeah, I'm not that great with keeping up with knitting stuff. doesn't go that good.
Yeah, they'll find out when you get to those crochet socks what that yarn was from.
My next finished object is a design, which is now currently unnamed, but we got yarn support from Nitpicks, so that was thrilling and exciting. I will post better high-res images as well, because Zoom doesn't really want to do high resolution that great for me. But it's a cowl. It is in their Muse Tonal Pizzazz colorway, and it does have these really cute cables that I think you can see right here.
Mm-hmm.
They are my sister. I swiped them from my sister's gridlock socks. I totally see why she was tired of making the elongated stitches, because I made her knit these things like 5 times. Because I keep getting different yarn. I'm like, oh, so-and-so's doing yarn support, so you got to reknit the thing. So this cowl will go out for testing. We'll actually send the link to my sister, and then it'll go as part of this video. It'll go out to we have a mailing list of our testers, people who want to be signed up for testing. It's super easy. It's a cowl. It's fingering weight. You use like 50 grams, so it's pretty good for if like you do sock leftovers or something like that. It's I'll put it on. It's different than like, I don't like cowls that like flop down, like that come down where they're more decorative. So it's more like almost like the men's style cowls where they're like closer to your neck. So that's what this is. It's much closer to your neck than like the loopy kind of early 2000s fashion ones, which are fine, but I didn't want that because
like an infinity.
Yes, I wanted it to actually keep my neck warm in our very, very cold California winters.
Right.
It's not that cold, but that's what I wanted. Instead, it's pretty easy. The pattern is pretty easy. I knit it up in like 2 days. So it's also a good gift knit. If you're looking for like, partial skein, I'm behind on Christmas gifts, because who here gets behind on their knitting? Not me. Yeah, not us. So that test call will go out sometime this week, whenever my sister has time to post the video. So that way they coincide.
Yeah, noted.
Noted. All right. With the leftovers from that cowl, this is my third finished object.
You're going to have to tell them at the end of this why we have so many FOs from Gabz.
Well, because I'm a prolific knitter and you're just hella slow.
Right, that's what it is.
I used my leftovers to knit this pair of socks, which I am calling my muted melon socks, because they really reminded me of my sister's really, really loud, like,
oh, my fuchsia ones.
Yeah, you guava be kidding me?
You guava be kidding me.
So, well, I was trying to match the color, like what color I should do with the pink, and then my sister was at the conference, so I couldn't like text her because she was like doing her job and stuff. So I had to like figure it out by myself, and I was like, nuts. But then I remembered what she did, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll just find a more mild, like mustard color. So these are, this is the Nitpicks Pizzazz, and this green is from Rebel Woolworks, part of her Kickstarter tonals campaign. Rebel Woolworks is no longer dyeing yarn. I did a 2x2 rib here, which is kind of like my favorite now. I used to really love twisted rib, but I'm over it, mostly because I don't enjoy the process of knitting it. I did an afterthought heel. I followed the Crazy Sock Ladies tutorial for all of this. And if you're like, wow, Gabz, you knit really fast. Nah, dude, I cranked these. I cranked the tube on my circular sock knitting machine, and then I hand knit the green bits, which is kind of my preferred way of using my cranked sock machine. If you are familiar with it or you've seen reels, you can knit an entire sock on the sock machine. Like you can do a cuff and you can do heels. I don't like the way those heels fit me. Also, it's a lot of like room for error. Like if you drop a stitch on the circular sock knitting machine, game over, and you kind of got to start again most of the time. So if you mess up the heel, you've got to start the whole project over again. and I don't want to do that. But if you drop a stitch while you're like hand knitting, whatever, you just drop down and pick it back up. So these are like cranked socks are my, like, as my sister says, palette cleanser. She uses DK socks. I use, I crank them on my sock machine. They're great for on the go. I'm not done. I have more. I also,
but wait, there's more.
I, for the first time, have beaten my sister
in
this sock swap competition, which we kind of knew that June was going to be my time to shine.
I feel like June and July, to be honest.
Yeah, August is going to hit the skids real rough.
Yeah, I'm back in the game, baby.
Yeah. So these are the sock camp picnic. This pattern is also the Crazy Sock Lady, came out in 2021, and the yarn is Summer Sock Camp 2021 by Desert Vista Dye Works. No,
2020.
Ooh, 2020 by Desert Vista Dye Works. And the brown is a mystery. It appeared. I also didn't know what color to go with it. And then I looked at my sister's and I was like, she used brown. I'm going to do that too.
Okay.
It's less shady when you copy your sister's things. You don't have to give as much credit for it nor ask permission. You just do it, kind of like borrowing their clothes. You just kind of go in the closet and take them.
Whatever, you weren't using it.
See, it wasn't even me who did it. So, I struggled with this because of the self-striping. So I don't think you can see it that great, but there's a purl ridge right here, but in the transitions. So sometimes self-striping doesn't work out, and then your yarn like does this on the purl ridge. And I was like, that's not beautiful. I don't like that. So this was my first sock. So I did this one, and then I said, forget that. I do not like how that looks. So sometimes I would have to like add in an extra knit row to make the transition look great, which meant I had to pay a lot more attention to my knitting than I really wanted to. But I was racing my sister, so there was no way that I was going to like put it aside when I was in a better headspace, because that's kind of not what we do. We're just like, we can do it. And that's how our shoulders end up by our ears and we get knitter's neck. And then I made this big mistake, but I wasn't fixing that either, where look how big this heel is.
Oh. Why is it so big? It's like it's swollen.
Yeah. It's like you got a mosquito bite because it's summertime and we're highly allergic to bug bites. You okay, dude?
Well, remember how I told you that I had the visitor in my backyard?
Is it back?
I don't know, but the bushes are waving more than I think the wind is causing, so I got nervous all of a sudden. Sorry.
You're okay. You're inside.
I know, but still.
Chaylee is scared of raccoons.
But it wasn't even a cocoon.
And a possum. It's a possum, right? Or
no, it was a skunk.
Chaylee had a skunk in her yard a few weeks ago, and that's what she thinks is back. So she's all twitchy now. She's probably gonna be twitchy the whole episode every time something moves. That's what her like panicked eyes.
Carry on about your swollen sock.
So my swollen sock, what happened was I cast on 56 stitches. Half of 56 is 28. But, right? So I should have had 28 on the front, 28 on the back. What had happened though is the pattern repeats for the sock are like in groups of 4. So I thought, which is fine because 4 goes into 28 evenly. So I was like, cool, I'm already split. No, I had 32 stitches on one side and 24 on the other. So this heel is a 32 stitch heel. When did I notice it? When I was at the toe and things weren't distributed evenly. And I was like, I'm racing my sister. I didn't actually really enjoy knitting this sock that much. I'm going to leave it. It's perfectly fine.
No one's going to know.
I did. I left it. But then I knit this heel first. Then I knit this heel. And guess who ran out of yarn? So I ran out of yarn on the Kitchener of this heel. Not the knitting, the Kitchener. And if I had not knit my 32 stitch heel, I would have had plenty.
Plenty.
I would have had plenty of yarn left over. Did I? No. So what did I do? Did I rip this out like a normal person and No, I did not. I used my clipped ends to tie the yarn together to have enough to Kitchener.
It is the most Frankenstein thing ever.
It's a classic Gabz move, but I couldn't tell you about it because it was too long to type about what I had done.
Well, yeah, it's a multi-step whoopsie doopsie.
But I was winning. All these people who are like, it's about the journey.
No, it's about beating your sister.
Not when you're racing your sister. It's not. It's about winning.
Obviously.
And did I finish? Are they done before her? Yep, they are. So they actually, to be honest though, the 32 stitch heel actually fits kind of great. So I'm like, it looks ridiculous.
Like on your foot, it's probably fine.
Yeah, on my foot, it's fine. But even on the sock blockers, it looks ridiculous, which is why the picture on Instagram is like this. So
there are so many knitters who like just fix it to make it perfect. And then there's us who are like, eh.
It's not horrible. Like, it's not horrible on the sock blocker.
Good enough.
But next to the other one, it's like, what'd you do there, kid? What you doing there, kid? But here's what I'm so impressed. Look how close I got the stitches to line up.
Oh, like on the striping?
Yeah.
Did you do it on purpose?
Well, the ball was tangled, so then I had to untangle it, and as I was untangling it, we can say this was Michaela.
Actually, I think that one was already wound up. That was probably me.
It was like mad tangled, and I was like, what the heck? So then I was fixing it, and it was a whole thing, but those are finished. I also still have one more that I finished. So I am trying to do no leftovers because my leftover bin is very stressful for me. Which is why I knit a million cozies so it wouldn't be tangled, and then I would use my leftovers. Have I used any of my leftovers? No, not at all. But at least they're organized. So I had a leftover 21 grams of this self-striping yarn because Chaley gave me half. She knit socks for mom last year, 2 years.
I didn't even use all 50 though. I think I maybe used like 35 or 40.
So Chaley didn't use all of hers. These were a little bit longer, right? Because I wanted to, because Chaley had knit a long leg for hers. And because I was racing her, I needed to preserve the integrity of the race, right? And not do shorties. Because then she'd be like, well, you only won because
you only did one repeat.
So I was like, fine, I'll do it the full way, whatever. Except, to be fair, I think afterthought, heels use less yarn, right? Because you don't have the space for the gusset, and they take less time because there's less stitches around. But if you mess them up and do 32 stitches, so it's on.
You didn't even fix it, so
yeah, but it's more stitch, right? 32 stitches is more stitches. So yeah. I don't know, whatever. I had 21 stitches or 21 grams left. A normal person would put them in the magic knot ball, or I also put one in my cozy memories blanket, and I added like 2 grams to Chaley's magic knot ball. So I was left with 21 left over. A normal person would just put them in your scraps and move on with your life because you can't make a pair of socks out of 21 grams of yarn.
That's not with that attitude.
Yeah, we can do koizumis. Yes, you can. They're very tiny. They're very short.
Are they for you?
Yeah, because I thought Vuvy wouldn't like, Vuvy's our grandma. Vuvy wouldn't like short socks. I thought she wanted the long ones to keep her legs warm. But you totally can.
Oh, wow.
They're so I cranked these buddies because I didn't want to knit them. So I cranked them. Also because cranking them keeps kind of a tighter fabric and a tighter gauge, so it's a little bit more consistent. So I wanted to make sure that they were consistent. I also didn't want to split the ball in half and measure, and then
you also have giant gauge.
I do have giant gauge. So I knit these. They're these cute little summer sock camp shorties. I knit them on a 54 cylinder for my Erlbacher gear heart. And the greens are Earl Grey Fiber Company. They were also leftovers from another sock test knit And as I'm knitting and I'm knitting and I'm knitting and I'm knitting,
Nope.
I'm like, I'm gonna run out of yarn again. I did not run out of yarn. I was good.
And then you just add the green to the magic knot.
Of course, I did not do that. I put it in my Cozy Memories blanket, and then I've got this little tiny strip of green in my Cozy Memories blanket.
Okay.
Yeah, the chaos that was Gabz. But you know what? Eleanor thought all this was a very good idea when I asked her. Like, she was like, yeah, mama. She goes, yeah, 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 yeah.
The 1.5-year-old thought it was a good idea.
Yeah, she moves her whole body, says, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I was like, good, thanks, Lenny. So, yes.
Wow.
My 3-year-old is a constant critic of me. So, I don't know.
Oh, why does it look like that?
No, that's ugly.
No.
Or that's not pretty, mama. Okay, whatever. So, this is why I can teach high school, because if my 3-year-old can't hurt my feelings, other people's children can't hurt my feelings. So those are my finished objects.
Woo!
I did it.
This is like SpongeBob when they say like 27 years later.
Yeah.
How many whips you got?
I have 2 hose and 2 whips.
Oh. I guess I also have 2 hose and 2 whips.
Good. Are the 2 hose my daughters?
Just a couple of pimps, no hose. Okay. Would you like to go? Would you like me to go?
Sure. Shall I do I will do my hose first.
Yes, I'll prepare my hose as well.
The reason my hose, hose are HOs, half finished objects. I guess they're HFOs, but that's not what
half object.
Yeah, well, the reason these are half finished objects are because I'm saving them for Nitty Natty's sock week. So it is an intentional putting them in the whip pile, not I didn't want to do it. Because if you're not familiar, Nitty Natty Sock Week, it used to coincide with Shark Week, so it's all ocean themed things. There's like products and stuff that you can also purchase, like yarn and bags and like
markers.
Mad Cow Mandy's doing like a journal. There's like sock wash. There's all this cool stuff. Yeah, so check out her. She's got a video on it. And then they're also doing patterns this year. So I wanted to test knit the patterns. So I did. I applied and I like saw who the designers were. And then I got on their newsletter. And then as soon as their newsletter came out, I applied to test it. Which is fortunate because I share an Instagram with my sister. So it looks like I'm a more prolific sock knitter than I actually am, because you're seeing finished objects from 2 people, right? So I got accepted into both test knits. So I was like, yeah, because test knits are stressful for like getting in, right? So especially if it's something you really want to knit. I really like test knits, obviously, because I like knitting along with other people. Like I really like that community aspect of it. So my first one are the Affinity socks. Like fin is the capital word, right? Like the shark fin. From, it's hard to say. It's easy to see when it's written, from Carrie Cogan Brown. I'd want to say that's what her Instagram is as well. So these are a knit sock. They're really cute. They came out so
Ooh, I like that blue.
Yeah. So it's a Mosaic knitting cuff right there, which is actually coming out super good on camera, right? Like it's actually seeing
what is Mosaic knitting?
So Mosaic knitting, unlike color work where you hold 2 colors in the same round and you have to interchange, you're slipping the opposite color. So it's only, so like if on this, like this round, right? I would be only holding the varigade, and then I would knit 1, slip, knit 1, slip, knit 1, slip. So only the varigade would come. And then the next row I would switch to the blue, and then all the blues that I had slipped, I knit, and then the varigades I slip. It's confusing to hear, but when you do it, you're like, I get it. You have to like, I think it's like one of those holographic images where you just have to like relax your mind and your eyeballs and just knit just do what the pattern says. I can't design in Mosaic knitting because I don't see it, but I can knit somebody else's. So They're shorty socks. I knit these in 24 hours. Like straight up, actually 23 hours and 50 minutes because I timed it. And yes, I slept a normal amount. I didn't stay up. Like this was just my normal knitting. Like it was a weekend and I was just like cruising along. And I was like, I'm done. What the heck? So this varigade is Catherine of Aragon by Junk Yarn from her Queens and Consorts line, which was like 6 years ago. And I have an absolute obsession with Tudor England. So I was like, woohoo. Then this blue Chaley is from the Beach Bum set you bought me for my 30th birthday. Remember there were all these like 50-gram minis?
Or 50 design.
What's this color called?
Yes. That is a great question. I don't remember.
So it's blue.
I feel like it was something like blue, like summer blue. Or like, actually, I think it was just aqua.
Oh, maybe. So that's what I have. And it actually took me longer to pick the yarn that I wanted for these socks than to actually knit it. Like I waffled like 1,000 times on the yarn that I wanted to use because I knew I needed I needed basically 2 solids. But then my husband so helpfully told me that this blue, and on the sides you can see it's white, this blue, red, and white looked like blood in the water. Like a shark attack. And I was like, I like it like chum. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, I'll do that. So it does kind of look like blood in the water, which I really like. Sorry if it's kind of morbid for us, for y'all, but
that blue kind of reminds me of blue ices though.
It does. So I really like this. I thought it was super cute and fun. I'm saving the other one for sock week because you get double entries into sock week or extra points or something if you use one of the sponsored items. So that's what this is. The yarn is not a sponsored item, just the pattern. The yarn that I'm using. There is sponsored item yarn. Okay. Am I continuing here? Your turn.
Well, I am also working on our June sock swap. I made the egregious error of not bringing it with me to my professional conference in St. Louis. I brought other projects with me, and then my sister just leapt ahead. She, saw my vulnerability there and then just took her chance.
For the jugular.
I also would like the record to reflect that I'm not that far behind on these. Like it's half done. Like this is my summer sock camp picnic. And so you can kind of see the like little twisters. This is the pearl row that Gabz was talking about that was looking funny in her self-striping. I would also like the record to reflect. We picked the yarns, packaged them all up, and then picked the pattern. So I couldn't remember what we had assigned for the patterns. So just saying, not my fault.
As evidenced by I gave her gray in June.
Yeah. Well, it's fitting because it's quite June and gloomy where we're at right now. Like I haven't seen the sun since I got back.
That is a pretty gloomy June.
Yeah, but this is cute. Like I am a huge fan. This is a Molly Klein design as well, and it is Dancing in the Moonlight.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But also Gabz, in her giving, generous, and forgetful spirit, gave me an entire 100-gram skein to make these socks. So this is one, and I've already done almost a huge chunk of the leg for these, so I'm gonna have plenty of extras. Now I have to figure out what to do with this scrap.
And she can't give it back to me, which is usually what we do when we
there's like no backsies on this one because it's already been swapped once. So it's like in White Elephant when the present's dead. Now it's mine. I have to figure out what to make it. Maybe I'll mix it with something and do like a DK. Maybe with
you could swap it to Michaela.
Oh my god, that girl. She just bought more yarn and has not yet finished a knitting project.
Oh my god, Alyssa, my friend, did the exact same thing.
Like she's a menace, that one. I'm so proud of her, but she's a menace because she was texting me like, my friend's mom just told me she has a ton of sport weight like laying around. Can I use that? And I was like, technically you can use whatever yarn you want, dude. So I'm almost done. I think with these, if I focus, it'll probably be done next week or so. But these are speeding along. I made it extra gloomy and put my little skull marker on there. So I'm actually really enjoying these. I like the pattern was really easy to memorize. And once you get to like the foot part, I feel like because you just do the stockinette on the back, it like flies. So it also kind of gives me like bees, like reminds me a little bit of bees. So I'm touching on summer-ish. Your turn.
All right. So I also got into the other sock test, which is for Emily Crow of Crochet Creations, with Crow is spelled like the animal, CROW, and then Shay like crochet. She's super nice. I am knitting. No, I am crocheting. She also has a knit sock going for this as well, but she had a bunch of testers for the knitter. So she's like, do you mind if you do the crochet? And I'm like, no, I've never made a crochet sock. So I crocheted my first sock. Let me show you it. I'm obsessed with the yarn. The yarn is like the best. I love it. Now this was a little bit of a Sisyphean task for me. So, there's that. I did it.
I think it looks great.
It came out super fly. Like, I really like the yarn. The yarn is Hypnotic yarn. The blue is, Shaylee.
What? You have the, give me a second.
I gave you the ball band. You don't remember from 2 years ago? Come on, Shay.
Well, I know that it was August 2020. No, look it up.
No, it was not August 2020. Was it? I thought it was August 2020. No, it was August 2021. Because we started, this was what the orange and the blue were the last ones.
Nah.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Nah. Orange was July then.
Yeah, the orange and Shaylee and I shared the Hypnotic yarn box.
Yarnable.
Yarnable box from like September of 2020 to August 2021. And these were the blue was the August color for 2021, and the orange was the July color. And we were supposed to be knitting a pair of socks together every month. That didn't work out. I fell behind in June of 2021. I was pregnant with Eleanor. Yeah, those are Shaylee's. I was pregnant with Eleanor, my second daughter, and I got super sick in the first trimester, and then just like dropped the ball, and then was too far behind, and then fell into a depression of too far behind. But now I knit my first pair of crochet socks with this yarn, and it came out super fly. But I had to restart 5 times because crochet socks are challenging. The crochet spirals, where the knit stitches, they line up on top of each other vertically. Crochet doesn't. It's an offset every row. So the beginning of round mark kept migrating, right? And the pattern's supposed to
I'm laughing at you.
The pattern is supposed to like accommodate that, but the designer has a different shoe size, like knit a different circumference than I did. So all of her math was theoretical, right? She hadn't done it. So there were like trickiness with like each row and then I had to knit the gusset, and then like the yarn row. So I ended up redoing it. It only took me 5 days, which is actually a really long time for me on socks because I can knit in 24 hours, but they came out super cute. They are much tighter than knit socks. I still have a loose crochet gauge. I still drop down to get gauge, but these are like, they hug this sock blocker. So I'm saving them. These are called the shark bite socks, right? Because you can see the little toothy being a bite out of it. So I did that, and I weighed the sock, and I was like, this is kind of bad. I had 43 grams to start with, which in my mind would have been totally fine because I just knit a pair of shorty socks out of 21 grams. I was like, chillin'.
Lenny.
No, crochet uses so much yarn. So this one sock was 32 grams of the blue. And I'm like, oh, well, I only have 43 grams of the blue. There's no way I can yarn chicken that out. Like I'll roll the dice, but I can't roll the dice that hard. So I have a lot of the orange. So I only had 43 of the blue. considered asking my sister if she had more blue, but then she was in St. Louis. So then I would have had to wait for her to go home and find the blue. And I didn't want to do that. So I decided that I'm going to invert it. And then the orange is going to be the main color for the other sock. And then the blue is going to be the teethies. And I had way more orange. I must have split them weird for my sister. Because I have like 57 grams of the orange, even after doing this little accent. Yeah, I don't know what I did. So that leads me to believe you've got a lot of blue somewhere, but because your socks probably turned out even. So I'm saving these as well. And then I had to say, I saved about 5 or 6 grams of the blue and the orange because Chaylee and I are doing scrappy yarnable socks. And she has impatiently been waiting for me to get it together for 2 years to do that.
After I think a year, you just stop being patient, Gabrielle.
So I had to pull some aside because I was like, she's absolutely gonna kill me if I do not have enough blue to add to our supposed to be shared yarnable socks. I was like, I'm a dead woman because I've already been farting around for like 2 years. So we're ready to do our yarnable socks because I measured out how much I need for the other one. So that is my other hoe that I will be working on for sock week. I honestly think if you're an experienced sock knitter or sock crocheter, you'll be fine to finish these socks in a week. They're short. They're kind of like ankle socks. You should be fine. I've never crocheted socks before. I ripped it back 5 times and I still got it done in 5 days. Granted, I'm not working full time, but I think it's possible. Like, I think the socks are realistically probably 6 to 8 hours each. So I think if you've got an hour and a half of crafting time each day, give or take, I think you can finish them both because of how short they are. Obviously, if you're knitting them for a giant person's feet, that might be hard, but I think it's reasonable. You could get it done.
The blue is called Summer Vibes.
Oh, I remember now.
And the orange is Sweet and Sour.
I remember these. Thank you.
Yes. Lucky for you, I consistently make my Ravelry pages.
Thank you.
Okay, my next one is like, it's just shy of a hoe, technically, but whatever. This is in my Kim Possible bag from Fates Thread, and this is actually the sock that I put aside for myself to do when I was in St. Louis because I assumed the conference was going to make my brain a little bit mushy, so I wanted something easy. Turns out I ended up working on my sweater instead, but whatever. But this is what I did work on the plane, so I didn't have to fuss with sweater on a plane in like tiny quarters. So these are, I'm just calling them my St. Louis socks, but look how summery these babies are.
I like those. Those are cute.
These are hot, right? So these I'm going to do an afterthought heel. You can see where I already have put my markers in to put in my heel, because this is who I am. Lots of marking and making sure everything is even. So the main color is from Mint Rain Yarns and is called In Peach Mint. And the yellow is Moira's Roses Garden, which is a Schitt's Creek reference. And that was from Earl Grey Fiber Company's Knitflix and Chill 2020 calendar. So I am super pleased with these. What I wanted to do is use up as much of the skein as I could of the main, because it's actually only a 50-gram skein. But I forgot to bring my scale with me to St. Louis. I was all on it and like measured it ahead of time so that I was like, yeah. So I was like, you've been knitting socks for a while. I can eyeball a ball of yarn and guess where halfway was. And you know what? I was only off by 3 grams. So I have 3 grams extra. So I went short, a little short on this. I probably could have gotten maybe one more set of 10 rows, but that's okay. Then I can add it to my Sister's Magic Knot Ball. So this actually worked out super well. So I finished the toe when I got home yesterday, and then I just need to cast on the other tube. So this will be kind of like the palette cleanser knitting. Usually I do DK, but I kind of like, I feel like a self-striping is almost as like instant gratification as a DK, because you get like, ooh, new color, ooh, new color, ooh, new color. And especially like, I like this size stripe. I'm finding like on the nitpicks fleechy. It's a little bit of a thicker one, and it's still
Yeah.
nice, but I like, this ends up being around 4 rows for me. So I like this. So here we
I
go.
like those. They remind me of Dr. Seuss a little bit.
Oh, it is giving Whoville.
Yes.
Your turn.
Okay. So I'll do this one first. In the middle of April, like applied for yarn support for a bunch of things because I knew I would want to do things over the summer. And Nitpicks sent yarn support for the cowl as well as this hat that I am designing. It is, do not let me forget Shaylee Koizumi, that I have to do a giveaway at the end of this podcast. Okay. It's coming along. It is using the chart from All Tied Up, or as my sister called it yesterday, All Tore Up. I'm like, thanks. Good support.
I just typed it wrong.
It's a lacework beanie, and I did a tubular cast on. So like all machine did it, and it's got some twisted rib, and it's coming along really nicely. The yarn is Nitpicks Hawthorne in their Sweet Home colorway. It's a fingering weight. I really like it. I think it's like a nice, this is like, in my head, it was another gift knit that I was like, I'm looking for kind of like one skein projects, one skein wonders, that kind of thing. So that's what I'm working on. I'm hopefully going to finish it by this week and have a test knit call out for that as well. So if you're interested in test knitting for us, usually it's socks, to be honest. About 90% of our catalog is socks, and then occasionally other garments. We have a test knit sign up in our Instagram bio. So if you want to check that out and you just sign up for getting emails. I have no fancy newsletter. I don't use MailChimp or I literally just send you an email.
Yeah, literally we don't send you emails unless there's something to test.
Yeah. That's it. I don't even send emails when we do pattern releases. Like, it's just, there's no like, you signed up for this and now you're going to get all these other garbage. No, it's really just when there's a test knit. That's all I email you about. So if you're interested in that, I obviously don't sell your information, because who would I sell it to? Right? Because it's just a Google spreadsheet. It's literally just a Google spreadsheet with your emails in it. So please make sure you type your email correctly, because it just bounces back to me and then I delete it. So that is my other whip. Oh, I have one more. It's your turn though, Che.
Okay. This is one of my summer sweaters that I am working on, and this is a test knit, and it is in this like Save the Animals bag that my dad made for me, which I thought was kind of cute. Because it is a Stegosaurus sweater. So obviously they're extinct, but like save the animals. See how it goes. I think that
Themed.
I love it when you're not impressed by me, Gabrielle. So this is a DK weight sweater. It is by Mary of Hunt Hand Knits, and it is called the Stego sweater. And it goes by super fast, being the DK. And I'm also like on branding this whole thing because I also have this beginning of round marker, which Leah of Leah Loves to Knit gave me when we did our like December like friends swap, which was super cute. So I've gotten through the first chart of it. It's kind of hard to see it.
It looks good.
And then I started the Stegosaurus, but it's like, just see these little like speckles down here.
Oh, are those the spikes?
No, it's actually the dots that go all around the Stegosaurus.
Oh,
so
you're not on the actual.
I have, you can't see, the Stegosaurus is not going to come to life for a bit. It's a really cool pattern. It's just one of those colorwork patterns where like, see like up here, like you can like get the pattern and then like keep going. When you create the Stegosaurus, like it's like a 48 stitch repeat across. So I'm sitting there every chart, like looking at it. I even like partitioned off, like here you can see a little marker. This will be one Stegosaurus. And I actually do 5 stegs all the way around the sweater. So it uses like my whole brain. So I'm like committing to like a row at least. And it's not due until like end of July, and it's DK. So I'm feeling like once I get through the Stegosaurus, there's a little bit of color work on the sleeve and a little bit at the bottom of it, but I think it's a repeat of one of these patterns up here. So very much so doable, but I'm like, yeah, I need to like give my brain a break, hence like the peach socks, because those are like, I can just do that. So, but I think it's super cute. I'm really happy with my color choices as well. I was going back and forth a lot, and I was like gonna buy a kit, but then I was like, it's really pricey for me, and I'm doing a lot of travel this summer, so I need to save up for that. So I ended up choosing Nitpicks yarn, and I am doing, for the green, it is Swish DK, and it is called Moss. And then the other one, I have now misplaced the tag, but nobody fret because the extras are right here. It is a City Tweed, also a weight. Look at that. Isn't that fun? And it's called Snowshoe. So
are the Stegosauruses white or green?
They'll be green. Yeah. So what's interesting is like the first, that's something that she did in the pattern. The first set is like the main color, which is the cream, becomes the shapes. And then when you go to the Stegosaurus, it swaps, which I think is kind of fun.
And the body is all going to be green or all going to be white?
It'll be cream.
Like your body?
It'll be like the tweed color.
Oh, that's not what I saw in my mind. I like that.
Oh, you saw green?
Yeah, I was like, that's a lot of green, Jay.
Yeah, no. The green is the accent.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got it. I'm there. I'm with you.
I've seen with it. We got it now.
I've seen this pattern many times because like I've seen it on, it's our shared Instagram that's on the group chat. So it's not like I don't see what's happening. But that's cool. That's gonna be a cute one.
I'm excited about it. I think like I need to have a free weekend, which I actually looked at my calendar. I don't have one until September. To work on this, but it's okay.
Definitely could work on this in Colorado with us and our 2 children.
Right.
That would be relaxing.
The beasts. Totally. Yeah. I think I'll bring my other sweater, which I'll show after you go next. Because then that's just body.
Yeah. So I signed up for another test knit, which who's surprised, but it's a t-shirt this time. So it's not that intense. And after the crochet socks, which used my whole soul, this one's actually coming along really quick. I am knitting the Summer Saunter Tee by Samantha Guerin, I think is how you say her last name, on Instagram. And I am in a bad spot to show you, but I'll show you anyway, because I'm in the middle of a row. This is the back, and it's knit flat at first because it's got a V-neck, and then it's a drop shoulder. And then you join in the round. And the color I'm using is Rita Skeeter, which is from Forbidden Fiber Company's Harry Potter subscription company. I purchased this. It was actually given to me. I got a 3-month subscription of it in March, April, and May of 2018. So this has been sitting in deep stash for a very long time. Chili and I don't buy Harry Potter themed yarn anymore because we don't support J.K. Rowling's stances on many things, but this is deep stash. So I really like the colorway. I'm having an obsession with green. If you've been watching, it's been about 6 to 9 months that I like basically only want to wear knit green. So I think it may be supplanting purple as my favorite color, which is dangerous because now I'm changing the world as my family knows it, where they're like, I got this purple thing for you. And I'm like, do they have it in green?
But just like purple, I feel like not all greens are created equal.
Yeah, no, they're not. So maybe that's it. But it's a really pretty like variegated, but it's coming out pretty, I don't know. I really like it.
That's fun.
It's coming out really nice. It's really true to the character of Rita Skeeter. And like my sister, I themed it. Get it? She's a witch. So she's a witch. So she's in my witchy thing. And then I'm working on my cozy memories blanket, but I've made like 2 squares. So that's nothing. What else you got, Shay?
All right. This is my last whip, and I'm actually quite proud of my progress on this. It is technically themed because the yarn is kind of candy based, but this is my like Disney desserts bag that my dad made for me. I kind of love this fabric. I wish I had bought more of it so I could have made him make me a backpack.
It's cute.
It's fine. But this is my prismatic sweater, and I am just elated about this because this sweater has been such a struggle bus for me like since the start, and I'm just so pleased with how it's coming out. It's actually not attached to anything right now because I finished both of the sleeves and have yet to wind up the next skein for the body. So I'll probably do that later today. But this is what I brought with me to my conference, in addition to the peach sock. But my goal was by the end of the conference was to finish the sleeves. And I did not do that, but I finished them last night. I finished one sleeve, and I wanted to do like a 3/4 length sleeve, kind of like this baseball tee, because like my sister, we never really wear the full length and end up squishing it up anyway. So I was like, why am I knitting the whole thing if it's going to get squished up? Like that doesn't make any sense. So it's like a shrug right now.
That's good. I really like
you
that.
can see it, but this is my prismatic, and I am just so pleased with how it is looking, and I love this yarn. The main color is Pop Rocks and Candy Corn from Tristan of Dragonhorn Yarn, and I feel like I'm going to make the claim that I think Tristan's yarn is my favorite to use for sweaters. There's just something about how she dyes that like it always looks good in a sweater. So
yeah, my Moon Eater is my favorite yarn for a sweater.
It looks so good. And so I finished, like, I think I had the color work done the last time we podcasted, or I was just almost done. The pink or the magenta is Plucky Knitter in Take My Breath Away. And the yellow is Earl Grey Fiber Company Bread and Butterfly. So this is it. And now I just have to like, the body's ready to go. Like I have just my stoppers in there. So I just have to add in the needles and like knit. However, the dilemma that I was telling my sister about is that the needles I'm using on the Steg's sweater is the same size needle that I need for this. So I'm trying to decide what to do. I am going to a knitting store today with my friend. So I might just like, if they have another pair of interchangeable 3s, or I might just buy 3s with like a 40-inch cable or so, because I use 3s for my DK socks. And I feel like sometimes for DK socks, it might be fun to do an afterthought heel, and I would need the 40-inch cable anyways. So we'll see. Sweater, woo!
It looks good. I like it. I agree. Tristan's yarn is the best for sweaters, especially that moody vibe of sweaters, right? Like that fall. Yeah.
Do you have stuff that you've acquired?
Yeah, but it's in its package. I'll talk about why it's still in its package, but that's all I've got.
Oh, I got stuff. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, we're also pushing an hour, so we gotta like talk faster.
Not my fault.
Okay, I shopped the Yarnaceous sale. The reason this is still wrapped up is I didn't buy an advent calendar this year, mainly because December is way too hectic for me to be able to manage an advent calendar in the slightest. I have like 5 or 6 birthdays within 2 weeks and Christmas, and it's just too much. So I bought this mystery skein. It's 5 mini skeins. I don't know what they look like. And it's going to be my Hanukkah countdown calendar, because Hanukkah this year falls on the beginning of December, like the 8th through the 15th. So right before the birthday. So it'll be kind of like a fun thing. I celebrate Hanukkah every year. My best friend is Jewish, and I always celebrated Hanukkah with her when we were growing up. And now that I'm adult, it feels weird not to. So I light the menorah, I make latkes, I do the things, I sing, I do and my kids like it too. So I'm going to make myself, this is only 5 minis, but I can come up with 3 more, and I'm going to try and find 3 more Yarnaceous yarns, and I'm going to wrap them up and then open them on each night of Hanukkah, because we don't give gifts on Hanukkah, even though I know most families do. So then I will be like, I have my own present to myself during Hanukkah. So I'm excited for it. I'll probably make someone else wrap these mini skeins up so that I don't see what they are, and I'll knit like a pair of socks. Maybe that's when I'll do the crazy sock lady self-stripe,
Oh,
the
yeah.
stripey, you know what I'm talking about?
Scrappy stripy socks.
Yeah.
That'll be
Yep.
super cute.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
Maybe.
you give yourself like a main.
Yeah, I have a Yarnaceous skein, and who knows if they match together, but it's Gabz, so do I really care? Nah. Okay. That's my only acquisition.
Okay. I got a lot of stuff, and as to, my own anxiety, they all came while I was gone in St. Louis. And I was like, oh my God, it's not going to fit in the mailbox. Somehow my postman, he got all this yarn to fit in my mailbox. And I live in a complex, y'all. So it's one of those like thin babies. Good thing yarn is squishy.
Like, when is this girl coming back?
Yeah. I feel like my neighbors must be like, what is her job? Like, I'm always gone at like
But they
random
think you're
times.
like a flight attendant or something like that.
Oh, maybe.
That's what I always think when my neighbors are gone. I either think they're flight attendants or traveling nurses.
I also shopped the Yarnaceous sale.
Without
So
me.
did Michaela.
Without me. She shopped without me.
I didn't. You told me that you were not buying things. So I was like, I'm not even gonna ask her and waste my time in case this thing sells out. And then she's like, oh, did you get the Yarnaceous newsletter? Do you want to get shipping together? And I'm like, I already placed my order.
She ditched me.
Whatever, too slow. But I would highly recommend signing up for the Yarnaceous newsletter because she does sales often. And this one was a hot deal. Gabz got the mini skeins. My best friend Michaela got herself 2 sock sets from this. I got 300 grams of DK weight yarn for $40. So I was like, yes, ma'am, add to cart. And so I got 3 very different ones, which I think is really fun. This is the first one. Look at that.
I like it.
It kind of reminds me of your in-laws.
It does. It is a very Ken and Jean vibe.
And it is called Cozy and Roarin'. So it's giving, I guess, because it's giving like lodge vibes, and I associate them with like their like cabin and mammoth. And then this one I just think is a beauteous, and I'm probably gonna just hold it in my hot hands for a while because I don't know what to do with it because it's not for socks. Like it's not that. Look at that. It is called Pink Pearl, and this is like my favorite color. So
maybe it's another Musselburgh.
I mean, a DK Musselburgh though.
Yeah.
Because I've never done a DK one. That would be fun. I don't know. I'm just gonna hold on to it for a bit because I think it's so pretty. And I never buy myself tonals because I'm like, So this is exciting.
I thought you were just gonna say I never buy myself yarn. I'm like, don't lie, dude. Don't lie.
I know. And then this one, I think you might like. This one is like all the colors, and it's just called, huh?
I do like that one.
Right? It's called Roar.
I love that a lot, actually.
Right? Okay, well, if I make socks and have extra, I'll wind it up to make it one of your mini skeins, except you're going to have a DK mini skein, so never mind. Lulz, whatever, you'll be fine. You can have the extra of this, but I think this one is super duper fun. And then, because they think this was kind of like, it fell around Memorial Day, and I had already shopped some Memorial Day sales. So I shopped one from Suburban Stitcher, and this was, I think, one of her like experiments or like a test skein. So it was already on sale, and then I got it at even more discount. So obviously I had to buy it. Plus, again, I'm trying to expand my color palette. So I got this one. Look at that.
Ooh, I like that.
It's giving kind of like weedy vibes. She didn't have it listed on here, but when I looked up like my order again, it was called Sunflowers. So I think this is pretty. I think it would be really good for like a design because it's like interesting, but also you would be able to see like if I did like a texture. So I might hold on to this one for a bit if something strikes my fancy. So you'll probably see a design from me in about 3 years. Yeah. And then my last thing that came is my Yarnable. So I'm liking, she's sending everything, all the goodies in like these packets now. So in case, if you ever need a little pencil case or something, you let me know because I'm starting to stock up on these. So I think
that's green. My new favorite color.
Oh, good. I'll put it in a box for you. So I think the theme for this one was bees. well, I know the theme was this was for bees. And so the first thing you got was this Bee Bella handcrafted lip balm.
I like it.
The flavor is vanilla bean, and this is giving mom vibes.
I was just gonna say
I
that.
don't use lip balm, so I might just like put this in my present bin and give it to my mother. And then you also get this super cute like tin, and you know I love tins. So I can put I have extra of my like stitch markers that I use for my socks. So this will be something I can just toss in a project bag. And then you get these really fun stitch markers.
Ooh, those are cutie cutes.
Which are super fun. I think they would look cute with my like prismatic sweater, especially this honeycomb one to be on theme. And then like you might think that the yarn might be in like the yellows or oranges because it's bee theme. No. Wow, the colorway is pollen party. And look at this.
I like it.
I really like it. I like how all the speckles are coming through there because it does remind me of like all the pollen floating around. And I really like the blue. It's giving summer. So I'm very pleased with my Yarnable for this month. I will put it in my pile to add to something to work on as part of my DK medley pattern that I promise I am working on. Kind of. But that is all of the things that I have acquired this month. News. Gabz?
No, let me do the giveaway before I forget.
Giveaway?
Yeah, hold on.
You weren't even ready.
No, because I forgot I had to do it. So our all tied up socks was released this week, which is this fun little chart, pair of socks. And I knit it out of Amble yarn. It's by the Fiber Company in their Wild Rose colorway. It is, let me tell you the deets. It's a conscious blend of washable merino wool, alpaca, and recycled nylon. It's 70% wool, 20% alpaca, and 100% nylon, made in Peru. It's fingering weight, 355 yards. So it's a little bit plumper because I think it's the alpaca makes it plumper. So I would like to give away this skein of yarn. You don't have to knit our all tied up socks, but if you do, that would be so fun. So we're giving away this skein of yarn on the podcast today. What should they comment, Chaylee?
What is your favorite summer treat?
Tell us all the things about your
Mine
favorite.
is Otter Pops.
Oh, that's a good one. I think, yeah, mine's, oh no, I like those strawberry shortcake.
Oh, those things?
They taste super fake.
Those bar things?
Yeah, it tastes like 90s fakeness. It's lovely. Out of the ice cream truck. We used to have an ice cream truck that parked in front of our middle school during the summer months. So like beginning of school year, end of school year, I bought stuff every single day. I loved it so much.
Well, now that I'm a grown up, they have at Costco vodka pops. So
we didn't have those in middle school.
No.
So comment, tell us, and you could win your this skein of yarn.
Woohoo! News now.
Yes, let's talk about our 4-day COWL.
What? Oh, you talk about it.
So I've been following Marie Green of Olive Knits for a very long time, and she does a 4-day knit along in July where you knit. She designs a pattern, and I think she's like on her 8th or 9th year. She designs a pattern and you attempt to knit it in 4 days. You don't have to. It's nothing like bad things happen or anything, but it's just a fun challenge. And Shaylee and I really like challenges. We also like competing against each other. So
do we like it or do we just do it?
We both. So I saw the pattern for this year and it's just not my style. It's a very nice pattern. It's got like this cute little sleeve detail and it's got lace body work, but for my body shape, it's not something I could actually see myself wearing. So I was like, I want to do the 4-day COWL, but I don't really enjoy this pattern. Isn't for me. It's also not the right pattern for my sister either. I don't know if she's seen it, but I'm telling her it's not the right pattern because it's very tight in the shoulders.
Oh,
so
it's not gonna work.
that's not gonna work for Chad. So I looked at it, I was like, my sister's not gonna wear this. So I still wanted to do it. So what do? You make it up yourself. So Chaley and I won a giveaway from Polar Bear Yarns where for the Pisces season make along, I think. It must have been Pisces because it was like fish themed. So we won a pattern from Jessie Made, which is the outline tee. And then now we have that. So I was like, Che, what? And Che wanted to make the outline tee. So I was like, let's make the outline tee in 4 days. Okay. Okay. So then we picked a weekend, and which is next weekend. We cast on Friday night. Shaylee will tell me what time when she comes home from work. Because I don't work in the summertime, which is how I finished all my knitting. And we are going to frantically try and finish knitting all of this entire tee in 4 days. So it'll be Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, right? Friday to Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and we'll finish hopefully Tuesday night. It's cropped, right? Yeah, Friday to Saturday, Saturday to Sunday, Sunday to Monday, Monday to Tuesday is 4 days.
Oh, that's more time than I thought we had.
Yeah, me too. So we're going to do that. You're welcome to join us. We have a little Instagram group chat going. So if you want to join in, or you just want to hear us talk about it, because we'll talk to each other about it most of the time, in our censored grown-up way, not in how we actually talk to each other. What yarn are you using for it, Chai?
I am using, why did her name just leave? The Unicorn Lady. Whimsical Wood Yarn Company. And the colorway is called Pretty Ass.
Excellent. So, and you've got 2 skeins?
Yeah.
So I am knitting. I'll get mine too. Sorry, it's noisy and crinkly. Oh, we kind of have similar colors.
I picked mine first.
That's not true.
100%.
I picked it we were talking on video chat, and then you made the archive. Whatever. We're gonna have apparently matching tees, but it's fine. Mine is Hue Loco. Mum's the Word. It's a 50-gram set. So it is merino sock 80/20, and each skein is 200 yards. So do I really have this much yarn? I have 800 yards, which feels like a lot for me.
A lot. I don't think you need that much.
No.
You should make color block socks. I've been meaning to make those.
Yeah, so I'm going to apparently find out how much I need. I thought I was going to be playing Yarn Chicken hard on
Not at all.
No.
Maybe because you thought it was mini skeins, not 50-gram skeins.
Yeah, and you know what? I would have still tried to knit the thing with 4.
Yeah, you would have. You have more yarn than you need.
Yeah, so maybe I'll rethink what I'm making it out of. Is it DK weight or is it figure? Oh, well,
it's very open. Like it's very, I think it called for 5s, and for me to get gauge, I used 7s.
Oh, what? Do we know how many yards we need?
Well, I knew that I had enough, and then I stopped remembering the numbers.
Well, apparently, all right. Well, apparently I've got a lot of yarn. So I don't know. Maybe I'll rethink what I'm doing, because that's, I have 800 yards, and that's definitely a lot. So maybe I'll make a cardigan out of this. Okay, I'm going back to the drawing board. So you're going to see some different yarn. I will actually read the pattern and then see how much yarn I need. Maybe
Good place to start. Yeah. So we're doing that next weekend already?
Yeah, Friday night, dude. That's why I gotta look alive.
Yeah. I do too. Actually, now I'm thinking about this, because I have to host a hike for my students on Friday afternoon. But hopefully that'll go by fast. And then it's my birthday next weekend. So, but then Mom was like, so what are you doing on like the day of your birthday? And I'm like, racing my sister on this tea. Like I literally have no plans on my birthday and I'm seeing no one. And I think I'm just gonna like blitz this top. It's also Father's Day. So like everyone's busy like being with their dads. And I'm like, I'll text mine.
Yeah.
This happens a lot.
I sent my sister her presents already. We will next time show our sock swap because then Shaylee will have hers. I don't think I'll have mine, but that's okay.
No, I'm gonna mail it this week. I found out you can mail it from school.
Oh, cool. So yeah, I'm gonna go pick another color now.
Yes, you'll have a vlog coming from me from my trip in St. Louis. That'll be coming up. And then actually, not this weekend, but the weekend after, I'm heading out with Gabz and her family, or we are heading out to Breckenridge, Colorado. So we will be vlogging that as well. Lots of exciting travel coming to you all this summer. But if you do have any questions or want to get involved in any of the things that we're doing, our information is going to be down below. Thank you so much for sticking with us and watching. And hopefully Gabz will have another 19 finished objects the next time. Actually, I think we'll be in Colorado. So it will be an interesting kind of podcast. Maybe we'll podcast next weekend and do a little bit like a podcast and like check in about our outline tea. And then because then you can pick the giveaway.
Such a fast knitter, Chay.
I'm trying to be all supportive and be like, you can pick your giveaway winner and you're just being a little bum over there. So whatever, go pick your yarn, Gabrielle. Thank you all for watching us. We'll probably podcast next week if I can stand my sister, but we will catch you later. Bye.